Hello, fellow human yacha brothers and sisters, and it's finally here! Yeah! So, before we get started, shout out to to my friends on the Discord chat who are working to do Battle Nations Rebirth, but they're calling it War of Nations. No, or Nations of War or something like that. Anyway, and they're working really hard on it. But today I will finally be reading all my finished fan fiction Return of the Earth Defenders. I could not print it because I typed a total of 80,000 words. And that costs a lot of money to print out 80,000 words. And unfortunately, I don't have that much money. I'm almost broke. And I'm saving it up for other stuff, but so I figured from now on, since the sequel's going to be longer, I'm not going to be reading or I'm not going to be printing any of it out. I'm just going to edit it and then read you on my computer. So I have my computer right here. I've got my book set up. But without further ado, I don't know how long this goes, but let's read. But let me read you this book. There is going to be singing in this. I'll do my best to sing out these songs, but no promises. So, and I'll do my best voice impressions. So, let's scoot this up. Godzilla's Return of the Earth Defenders. That was probably the chat right now. Written by... the camera won't stay. Stop it! There we go. Prologue. Okay, written by me, Predator 2525. Prologue. Pain, suffering, death, destruction, joy, happiness, true love, peace, and war. This is our story. This is how our untold story comes in. But first, we must journey back decades into the past to get to our involvement in this story. Okay? It began long ago, after the battlefields of the Second World War. Two Japanese scientists sought to harness the powers of strange and mysterious ancient relics that had been buried beneath the earth for centuries. They believed that this new technology would bring a better future to Japan and to support their allies in future wars. Kinda a little hasty, I guess. But they could never have imagined just what else their research would unearth until it was far too late. Da da da. My name is Godzilla. I'm going to tell you how this entire story began. But first, we must go back to before the first Godzilla began his first appearance on Otto Island. Honestly, I can't remember the name of it exactly. Many years ago, the Ancients, an advanced alien race, came to Earth in search of creating unique life forms that the human race rejected or were afraid of due to their differences. That makes sense. The Ancients created many unique life forms in which for each to survive. Then one day, a scientist of the Ancients created a portal. Every 200 years, the moon itself would align with the planets Neptune, Pluto, and two glowing stars that orbited this alignment. This alignment opened a portal to a place of unknown creatures with amazing power. The abominations arrived through Earth, causing great destruction. The Ancients did their best to stop the strange alignment that was ruining their new home, but they were powerless to stop them. Finally, When the alignment ended, one of the creatures was left behind. That creature was captured by the ancients. They searched to harness the power of this creature to be the guardians of the other life forms, in case the alignment occurred again. The first kaiju had arrived. They began to drain the creature's strange mutant energy and blood cells, and create a new element called kaiju mutagen. However, one scientist decided to experiment on the blood cells that made this creature cruel and evil like his brethren. What could bring peace and happiness to these other creatures could also be a nightmare of horror to them. The kaiju mutagen was now different than what it should have been. The ancients began to discover the evil plan before they could create their prized new creature. Before they had a chance to do anything, the scientists killed the captured kaiju, halting the production of the kaiju mutagen. However, 22 canisters of kaiju mutagen had been created. The scientist's face was damaged, and he had decided to change his name. He called himself the Wraith Reaper. The Wraith Reaper then created his own kaiju forces that he called the Mutants. Okay. Big skeptic, but okay. The mutants' sole purpose was to destroy the ancients and claim the planet's power over Earth's nature itself. The ancients did their best to create kaijus to counter the mighty mutants, but they had failed. One day, another alien race had landed on Earth. They had recovered kaiju mutation canister themselves and had been creating kaijus of their own. They named their new creations the Alien Armada. The Alien Armada and the mutants went to war, covering and conquering the planet Earth, leaving innocents to die. Desperate to save their people, the ancients created 5 kaijus, but one was more perfect and stood out from the others. That kaiju was the first Godzilla. Before they could see their greatest creation in action, a massive asteroid slammed into the Earth, creating Armageddon. The kaijus were sealed into stasis, locations bigger than anything for a human being to be in. The ancients saved themselves by creating separate dimensions they called the fourth wall. I find that kind of funny, the fourth wall. Or is that kind of creepy? I can't tell. And vanished into thin air without a trace. The rest, except the kaijus, were wiped out. The kaiju mutagen and the strange ancient artifacts they created were hidden from view, only to be found and used by the other kaijus. When the humans had detonated the nuclear bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, not only did they uncover the artifact of a lost race, but also awakening all the kaijus. The kaijus had no memory of their past. They had forgotten their purpose, and their infighting tore each city apart, especially when the second Godzilla arrived after the death of the first in 1954. This is where the real story began. And my computer and my phone keeps... Oh my goodness. Can they just stop? Just stop. Discord chat, just stop. Stop vibrating my phone. This is where the real story began after the Exilian invasion of 2004. That's the prologue. But, since this video is too short, I'm going to read both the prologue and Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Change of Technology. Okay. The news reporter was nervous. She was trying to do her best to be ready to go live on TV with her report. 4 years had passed since the invasion. Society around the world had rebuilt itself. All had been repopulated, the new world and its newest technology had surfaced. "Excuse me, Mrs. Lee. You go live in 10 seconds, the cameraman said. She snapped herself out of her own thoughts and replied, "Okay, yes, I'm ready." she said after clearing her throat. Okay, we go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the cameraman said, and she spoke. Good afternoon, citizens of Japan. As we know that in the year 2004, we've always known that we aren't alone in the universe. With the Exilian invasion that put the human race on the brink of extinction, we thought there was no hope. We thought we had lost, but thanks to the Gatengo and the Kaiju, known only as Godzilla, saved humanity from the Kaijus that sought to end or enslave us all, that were controlled by the Exilians. Society has been rebuilt, but now the walking legend, the Kaiju that saved humanity from the other alien Kaijus, has vanished off the map. 4 years have passed, and the oceans feel empty, as well as the city who visited the most has now had Kaiju activity in the past 4 years. The military has been on the prowl as a scientist has developed a special device that can allow a Kaiju to talk with a human in English, who is itching to test out his new invention. But one question remains to everyone else. Where is Godzilla? Oh no, wait. It's changed, but I'm gonna say it. 5 asteroids later. That's gonna be a part of this book, sorry. But this is in the Pacific Ocean. The 2 Corvette fighters flew over the blank ocean. Ever since they salvaged some of the alien wreckage, new ships have been constructed to fight off the Kaijus. These specific fighters could fly through space. The military had been busy. They had constructed new aircraft, a space station that protected the planet, and a new fleet of cruisers, destroyers, flagships, fighters, bombers, and scout ships. They all had constructed Scorcher drone fighters, Scarab drones, RC-8 drone max, Warden gunships, new sentry guns, new missiles, laser weapons, and much more futuristic technology. "Why are we out here again?" the pilot asked over the radio. "We have our orders. We're supposed to know if we see out of the ordinary tsunamis, a massive heat-drawn sonar, or a strong gamma radiation signature," the other pilot explained. "I get it," the other pilot replied. The fighters began to search every section of the place. "Man, finding a giant creature in all the oceans is like finding a needle through a haystack," a pilot replied. "I don't understand. How can a creature that is 300 feet tall and weigh 90,000 tons just disappear into the ocean without a trace?" the pilot asked. "Plus, how can he stay hidden for 4 years? You'd think somebody would have noticed something by now," the pilot replied. 5 asteroids later. 'Cause why the heck not? And I think that was something on my watch. Ocean Kisturf headquarters. Kaiju Search Team and Research Facility. Kisturf. That's gotta be the weirdest name you've ever heard. The scientists paced around the doors, impatiently, hoping for the best results. A major of the Japanese military opened the doors and looked at the scientists. "Sector B has been searched. No sign of Godzilla," the major reported. The scientists kicked a a trash can over. "Dang it," he said angrily. "Why did you even create this project for Godzilla? Shouldn't you destroy it and try something else?" the major asked. "No, I can't. I found the ancient writing in a small library that predates the dinosaurs. I'm afraid it also reveals the Kaiju's past, and whoever wrote it only showed pictures, but erased the writing. Only the Kaiju's know the answer," he replied. "That's why we need Godzilla?" the major replied. "That's why we need Godzilla," the major replied. "He's the wisest one of all. He should know something," the scientist replied. "Sir, the Charlie team just reported something," a technician said. The major and the scientist shoved them aside and sprinted to the mic. "Charlie team, this is Major Fox. What have you found?" the major asked. "We got a hit on something beneath the surface." "We've got a strong one," he said over the mic. "Soldier, come in. Which kaiju is it?" "It's him. It's Godzilla," the soldier replied to him. "Soldier, don't move. We're sending the wardens to get him," the major replied. "Roger," he replied over the radio. The wardens eventually arrived. "Use the tractor beams and lift him out of the ocean." "Carefully," the scientist told them. 5 Astra C's again. Godzilla had been dragged out of the ocean and into a facility. This was the oddest military facility he had ever seen. There were no weapons, no restraints, no giant dissection equipment, no nothing, except for the strange device on his neck. Godzilla was smart enough to figure out what the device on his neck was to help him speak. Godzilla let steam out of his nostrils as he saw the scientist sit behind the mic and turn both of their mics on. "Why have you brought me back to a place that I have tried very hard to forget?" Godzilla asked. The other scientists cheered to hear Godzilla speak. The scientists who created the project and motioned for them to be silent. "Why did you attack us in the year of 1954? the scientist asked. "My instincts kicked in as a reflex for survival for 4 years. After the invasion, I learned I don't have to be the evil creature that everyone wants me to be," he answered. "What is the origin of your kind?" the scientist asked. "The origin of the kaijus? I do not remember. We have been here for a while, but I have yet to know the full purposes of the kaijus. Few of us have tried to share a home with your species, but there are still other kaijus who think that they can be better. They can better their homes by ridding it of the human race," Godzilla told them. "Godzilla, I might be set to shed some light on the subject." "Stop vibrating. Stop it, Discord chat," the scientist told him. "Have you found the origins of the kaijus?" Godzilla asked. "We only have a piece to a much bigger puzzle, apparently. Someone called the ancients were involved in you being created and the rest of the Earth Defenders," the scientist told him. "Well, if these ancients come back, they're going to be disappointed to find out that was only a one-time deal," Godzilla told them. And that's the end of the first chapter, and apparently I think I can read more than this. So I'll cover chapters 1, 2, and the prologue, chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 2, The Storm and What Came With It. So this is like way up in space. This is like around in the Earth's orbit on a space station. So Commander Elijah J. Emerson. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare reference. I recognize that. Strolled through the empty halls. He held a tablet in his hands as he tried to understand the new protocols. Fellow officers passed him by, keeping their firm postures. But the commander barely noticed. He then approached the bridge of the space station and placed the tablet aside. "Everything going according to schedule?" he asked. "Other than strange readings from space, nothing unnatural," the technician replied. "What kind of strange readings?" he asked. "Ask the dog. He was the one who found him," he gestured. Elijah then moved over to the robot whose real name was Doppelganger. What kind of name is Doppelganger? That's funny. But everyone called him Dog for short. "What strange readings did you get?" Elijah asked. "That's the oddest thing. I can't tell what they are," he answered. "What do the scanners say?" Elijah asked. "Well, the scanners picked up strange lightning storm activity," the robot answered. "Is it coming from Earth?" he asked. "No, this one is coming from space itself," he answered. Is it a space cosmic storm? He asked. No, those come and go. This has a pattern, a strange pattern, and it's been in the same spot for hours, he explained. That is very odd, Elijah said. Sir, the same readings are spiking, bigger than ever, the other technician said in alarm. What's going on? Elijah asked. I'm reading a massive amount of black hole particles, white hole particles, and raw lightning occurring in that same place, the technician said. It's a portal, Elijah said. One of the technicians was shocked. A portal? But where does it lead from? He asked. It depends on what comes out from the other side, the commander replied. The portal then closed as a massive object appeared. It's a comet, the technician asked. It's a comet? The technician asked. Suddenly, ion rocket boosters fired from the rear of the comet as it slowly made its way to the Earth's surface. It's a comet with rocket boosters? The robot asked, confused. It's a spaceship, a very ancient one at that. How does a ship that old keep from falling apart? The robot asked. Shall we shoot it down? The technician asked. No, it hasn't fired at us or jammed us. It just wants to return to Earth. Wait, Elijah replied. Wait, return to Earth? Has it been here before? The robot asked. It seems that way. Why else would it return to Earth? Elijah asked. He's got a good point, the technician replied. Macombrand entered the atmosphere, vanishing between view. I'm picking up more ships heading this way, but they are different. The technician asked, Is it friendly? Technician, is it friendly? He shouted. I don't think so, the technician replied. Multiple alien vessels appeared from the sky, accompanied by the giant kaijus, King Ghidorah, Gigan, and Orga. Alert the fleet. Earth is under attack by the alien armada, Elijah ordered. I thought they disbanded a while ago, the robot asked. Well, they're back and better than ever, Elijah told them. 5 asteroids later. I will find the answers on my own. Leave me be, humans, and dare not bring me in again, Godzilla said. He then used his powers as he opened the secret door and swam back into the relaxing ocean. I was hoping he would reconsider us teaming up with him, the scientist said. Let's give him some time. If he is similar to us, he'll come around, the commander said. Godzilla stood on the island, not far from seeing Tokyo from a distance. Am I the only one who suffers from all the destruction and innocent lives I've killed in the past, before I started saving people? Did they really deserve my vengeance all because of what they did so long ago? Godzilla asked. He then saw King Ghidorah, Orga, and Gigan spread out, accompanied by other alien ships. Do I have time to save these puny humans from my mistake? I waste my time, Godzilla said. Just highlighted. As he began to leave, hang on, I'll be right back. I'm back. My computer's being stupid. Go away. As he began to leave, a voice spoke. Godzilla, it echoed. A blue glowing mutant Godzilla a blue glowing mutant Godzillasaurus appeared before him. Who are you? How do you know my name? Godzilla asked. If you want the answers you seek, you must reunite the Earth Defenders, Mothra, Anguirus, Baragon, and Rodan, the Ancient told him. That was a one-time deal, Godzilla assured him. Is it? Is it really? Or perhaps by saving her from the Mana and the mutants, Space Godzilla, Destroyer, Obsidious, and Megaguirus said, "Why do I need to defeat them again?" Godzilla asked. "They have developed a shrinking ray that can turn any kaiju into the size, or almost the size of humans. However, it only works on kaijus," the ancient explained. "Fine then. If that's what you want, then that's what it will be," Godzilla said, as he entered the sea to search. Godzilla said as he entered the sea to search for his one-time team. And that's gonna wrap it up. That's gonna wrap up the chapter. Okay, so this was Return to the Earth Defenders, Prologue, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Hope you all enjoyed. This is gonna be Predator 2525, signing off.